Reality can be defined as the state of things as they exist and what we experience in each present moment. We share reality with others, but each person's experience is different. No one can relate to life and specific experiences quite the same way as you, and vice versa. For example, if you booked a great vacation and became very excited about it, others may have some excitement for you too, but not in the same way as you. They won't experience this reality in the way that you experience it. This is because reality is individualized. It comes from an internal source based on past experiences and developed beliefs. Our minds create a map of specific categories and attempts to find circumstances and conditions that fit them. This is because it's designed to have control over how these experiences or reality are filed away. But your map is not the same as everyone else's, and this is why there are so many differing opinions and perceptions. Consider this. If you were to tell yourself that it's difficult to find a great partner to be in a relationship with, would this be a universal reality or simply a personal experience? Surely you could name a few people who have found the perfect partner for them. So it's only a possible reality that you might not. If you were to hold the belief that life is a struggle and you can never get ahead, you might realize that this isn't true for some people. This wouldn't be truth to everyone because they don't hold the same beliefs and perceptions. They create their reality in a totally different way. They may have had a different upbringing and a different set of conditions, but the fact of the matter is, if they held the belief that life is a struggle, that is what their mind would map out for them and experience, or what we refer to as reality. But because they hold a perception of life being easy and abundant, this is what their mind creates and perceives. To have new experiences, you must create new definitions for what your reality is, and then be patient while your mind creates those experiences for you. Ask yourself the following question. Do you let the reality that currently exists define the reality that can exist? There may be current conditions that contradict what you want to create. But just because your dream isn't your present moment reality doesn't mean it never will be. The place between what your current reality is and what you want it to be is the space that must be closed by you in order to make it happen. Imagine that what you want is actually right in front of you. In order to see that, you must close the gap between you and it. And in order to do that, you must focus your mind on the new reality so that the gap disappears. What creates the gap? The gap is created by all of the limitations that your mind has come up with for why you can't have what you want. And it's all of the evidence that manifests because of those limitations. For example, not enough money, not enough time, not enough skills, born into the wrong family, not attractive enough, bad genes, wrong location, and terrible luck. These are just some of the illusory limitations that people put on themselves. The more these limitations are focused on, the more they become the obstacles that keep the new experiences from manifesting. They are the gap, or the space between you and what you truly wish to experience. They are the conditions that keep what you want away from you, like a large moat between you and those things. Sometimes we temporarily close this gap between current experience and what is wanted by daydreaming or imagining it in detail. But sometimes we only visit that reality fleetingly, which is not enough to make it real. The desire doesn't exist yet as reality, but it certainly can. Learning to remove the space between you and what you want is what growth and evolution are all about. It's what makes us get up in the morning and move through our day. Without the desire for new experience, we remain stagnant, bored, and possibly depressed. The space between what is and what could be gives us the opportunity to transcend our self-imposed limitations and create intentionally. The first step to close this gap is intention. The word intention is derived from the Latin root word intentus, which means to stretch out or lean toward. By setting our intention to create what we want, we immediately begin to close the space because we start the process of stretching towards it. We create a purpose or a goal that we are determined to achieve. A true intention places more emphasis on believing the new reality is possible than it does focusing on the obstacles that keep it from becoming so. An intention stretches the attention towards the target, the one that exists currently only in imagination. By keeping our attention on the goal intended for, we begin to move our mindset towards a new reality. A new map starts to form in the mind. New perceptions are created, and new experiences begin to validate that new reality. The mind changes its focus to search for more things that prove the new reality is getting closer and closer, and the gap starts to close. For example, a person will find a way to have more time to research what is needed to make their dream a reality. Or they may make a change in their wardrobe and go to the gym to look nicer. Or it could be that they move to a different location that opens them up to more job opportunities. The action part of the process puts a person in the position of being in the right place, time, and situations to close the gap even further. Then the cycle begins to reinforce itself, just as the old cycle did. The more intention and determination there is, the more inspired action will take place, and the more right time, right place moments will happen. And once those conditions occur, the intention becomes stronger, the emotions become of a higher value, the actions become greater, and the new reality becomes within closer reach than ever before. We instinctively know how to close what might be considered the smaller gaps within our reality, and we do this all the time. For example, if you had a job interview scheduled for 3 p.m., or a play at your child's school in the evening, or an oil change appointment in the morning, you would rearrange your reality accordingly. You would close the gap between being able to be where you wanted to be and where you might have been otherwise. You would leave your other obligations in order to fulfill the intention, therefore closing the gap between what is considered your normal reality and your new reality. The intention would stretch you from one reality to the other by inspiring you to take the actions that create just that. In the case of what might be considered larger gaps, it's important to realize that you already have this ability and you use it constantly. You're a skilled gap closer. You already know how to use intention and action to adjust your circumstances. And the so-called larger gaps are really just minor spaces that need your intention and attention to close them. It's only a matter of shifting the focus from any current reality you don't wish for and centering your interests more so on your desires. You set the determined intention that you will close the gap between you and what you want, and that you won't take no for an answer. You remind yourself that you close these gaps all the time, and that you are very skilled at doing so. Once you have spent some time doing this, your mind will inspire you to act in alignment with your new reality. Your positive emotions will run higher. Your intentions and determination will become stronger, and your mind will begin to show you proof of the new reality you are creating. If you were to spend time reaffirming any existing experience that you don't want to continue by centering your attention on limitations, the space between you and what you want will remain. Or you can set your intention to stretch into your dreams, to lean into them, realizing that you merely have to close the small space between you and them, something you naturally do all of the time anyway.